got an idea that might help out an art buddy of mine. So I thought I would do a little experiment, and I'm digging out my little glass pieces again. So let's get started because some alcohol ink is gonna happen. Howdy, howdy, y'all. This is Clara Lawrence, and I am getting prepped up to do an experiment. And I've got these guys. Yeah, I haven't cleaned them off, but they're super, super easy. They're just little glass bits for mosaics and such. And so it makes it really, really easy to clean up when you use them for alcohol ink. I've just got a paper towel here saturated with alcohol, and I'm trying to grab this and do this while holding the camera, which is not easy. And I just literally rub it around until nothing else is coming off, and done, done, and done. But I thought I'd show you this part too, because, you know, unfortunately, sometimes we gotta clean up. All right, so I've got a friend of mine, Erika Bauer from Artist Till Death, and she does a lot of alcohol ink pieces. And she was debating on the last project she was working on the background as far as adding some stuff to it. And just through the process of her talking, I got an idea, and I wanted to test it out first before I told her about this. So, yeah, let's get prepped up, and we're gonna do our little experiment. You can probably figure out what I'm gonna do as far as like a little bit of an idea, but until then, I'm gonna get the camera all set up. All right, see you in a bit. Okay, so what we're gonna do is kind of that bubble technique. I don't know if I'm actually doing it the way the original artist did it, and bear in mind I don't have her name. I've been seeing Erika do this, and I just do a really simple way. So I'm not trying to duplicate the lady's technique, but I guess if you want to call it anything, it's like inspired by. So doing things subtle in alcohol ink is a little bit on the tricky side, and that's what I'm going to try and do today, but also still get some kind of effects. So we're going to flood this with alcohol first off. Hopefully I got enough over there. And I'm in a well-ventilated area, so keep that in mind. And I probably should have put my gloves on, which I will do as soon as I get this alcohol moved around. So I know you can't see a whole lot because this is pretty much white on white. Well, what we're trying to do here is get the board or surface area coated with alcohol. And only because I get this question asked a lot. These are pre-gessoed boards that I get from Jerry's Artorama. And I literally, there's no prep. I just go straight on with the alcohol. Okay. So what I'm going to try and do here is, I don't know why I shake it, a couple, not even a whole lot. Okay, maybe a little more. Over here. Okay. See, I'm even debating on how much to add here. I want a little bit of green in here. You like my little bottle here? All corked and bent out of shape. Always reminds me of a Muppet character every time I use it. All right, and this is I think a stone wash, so it's already kind of a weird little navy blue. Gosh, I wish I almost could put a half a drop down. Okay. And then this is a Rainbow by, I'm sorry, this one is not Rainbow. It's one that is similar. but this is by Marabou. So it's gonna offer a lot of shimmer. All right, and the first thing I'm gonna do here is literally just tilt this stuff around like crazy. So this would be like a first step of a project. And maybe that green was a little bit on the bright intense side. But I do want to have some kind of gradation in here. So what the plan is that you have your board completely covered with alcohol ink and alcohol and have it so it's saturated. Then you move quickly. You kind of can see where I'm going here, and place your items down. I'm just gonna follow this along in a little pattern. Well, not really a pattern, but a line, because I have something specific in mind. Just a couple over here, because I want it to go in an area where it's really super light, so we can see if you can see anything. Now there is a possibility, because I did a quickie cleaning on these, that there might be some ink transfer. So that's okay for right now, because this is an experiment, like I said. I'm gonna put some unusual shapes in here just because I know they hold a lot of detail when they dry. And this will be a good test to see if that will happen. All right. A couple of these guys. I contain one of these. Oops. Okay, so that's wanting to float around. Let me see if I can get something with some weight on it. Okay. I'm still here, I promise. I have to hustle, I have to find something with weight. Let's see. Ooh, I got plenty of these guys. With a layer of alcohol on top, you got surface tension, and so these things want to glide around. Whoops. I'm gonna flip that over so it's nice and flat on that side. I'll do the same automatically. See how that just wants to glide? I just put in a little bit of weight. We'll keep it from doing that. You can see by this heart right here that there's still some residue on that, and that's all right. All right, I'm gonna put this guy, I'll put it right there. Like I said, I'm kind of creating an experiment, so it's not really super critical where things lay out as far as design. It's just to give it a true test of what will hold up and what won't. Just put some of these guys down just for grins. Kind of close together. I think this alcohol is starting to evaporate already. Got one more little bead. All right, let me bring you in for a close-up real quick. So you can kind of see what goes on here. When I put the item down, it kind of creates, I don't know if you want to call it an echo, but it definitely repels some of the alcohol. And it also creates this line around, and while it dries, the lines are really, really interesting, and you'll see what I mean when I pull these guys off. But for right now, this is one of those things where you kind of leave it and walk away. And I put this on a turn thing just so I can show you from the different angles what's going to happen here. And so you can see how this is moving around, kind of moving it around like almost like a water thing here. And those are placed in there just last minute, and see it's already kind of having an effect. But even this inside there, that's going to create its own little vacuum. Well, not really a vacuum. It's kind of like its own little chamber. So it will take a lot longer to evaporate versus this stuff that's on the outside and exposed to air. So this is one of those things I'd probably walk away and come check it out tomorrow. Like, 24 hours thing. And you see there's a little bit of violet left over from the last project. I did a quickie cleanup, I said. But see, even that touching is going to create some interesting lines. And you can see there, I'm going to zoom in here. See, that's already starting to dry, and it's creating some interesting line work there. And you see the sparkle? Right. Okay. Right in there. I'm seeing how the sparkle will work with this circle thing. Oh, you can almost see it like starting to evaporate in. Right in here, it's like pop, 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 pop. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, cool. This might actually work. Ooh, that would be exciting. She's been doing these rainbow animal pieces, and some of them are like under the ocean. And there has been some debates on whether or not to put bubbles in there. And I thought, wouldn't this be cool to have this as a background? And you saw how many drops I did. I mean, there's not much ink on here, and it threw quite a bit of color. So if she had this in the background and then did her painting on top of it, she would already have the bubbles in play. So I don't know. We'll have to see how this does. It's already looking pretty interesting. And you put in here like literally sprinkle like a little BBs on top, and it would create the same effect. Now, I don't know if alcohol is going to pull any of the metal out of the BBs or not and leave deposits, but I do know what glass does. All right, until tomorrow. Okay, so we are at the next day, and I thought I'd handhold this. Hopefully I succeed here and pluck these guys off. So what I'm looking for is some subtle effects that still can be seen in the faint areas. I'll go ahead and get the colored ones just so you can see what I'm looking for. So that's an area that has a fair amount of color, and you can see there's quite a bit of detail, multiple lines in there, and then even texture where the heart was. And you can still see little sparkly bits. So, and here's a heart that's in the faint area. Over. And there's some texture. So, yay. All right. Well, this works out pretty good. Yay, I'm happy. All right, let's check out some of these. Take the weight off. Sometimes they seal pretty good. I didn't need two hands on that part, but you see how there's really interesting rings.
That would be because it was dirty before. So it brought in other colors on that one. Very cool. See, it left enough of an impression just before. Remember when I weighed it down and it slid down here? So it still started drying even though it wasn't attached yet. So that's interesting. Cool. Nice. Okay. So experiment is a success. There's still some shimmer in there. And that's what I'm looking for also. But also to give a very faint little ring. So that might be an option for her. Or some pieces. So I'll have to share that with her. All right. All right, just have to finish this off. Okay, sometimes they hold on strong. There we go. I'm going to show you the underside of this heart just so you can see what we're dealing with. So there's those little bits. And that's the texture under the heart. So there is some little raised areas. And that's what's giving it the little bumps. All right. So it does work even when it's super faint. So yay. All right, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Definitely hit the bell to get notified next time I put a video up. And don't forget, I've got an Etsy link with some of my art pieces in there. Bunch of different price ranges, so go check that out. Oh, it's in the description below, as well as any of the colors or products I use too, because I get those questions quite a bit. There you go.